All right. It is overtime. PhillyVoice.com/the middle. Harry Mays, Eitan Gender, Court Barrett Brooks, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Jason Martinez in the house. And I just put him up as overtime is brought to you by Book It Sports. Keep telling you, Jeff Parles joins us every Wednesday about Book It Sports, a great app to enjoy, educate yourself, and just have some fun whenever you're playing something, any bet that you may have. And here he is, as promised on Tuesday. Here he is.
There he is.
Our insider.
What do you say, Mac?
He's trending, right? Well, he's not trending, but one of his tweets, the content of it is trending, and that's Miles Sanders. Let's start there, right? I don't think there's anything more current than the reaction to what Miles Sanders said this morning. What's your initial reaction to what you heard Miles say, John?
Miles loves him some Jalen Hurts. I think I said this on the show before. I've never seen Miles happy. He's sort of an even-keeled guy, much like Jalen Hurts. When Jalen came in,
I thought you were going to say much
he
like
was
Harry
so
May.
bubbly, so excited. Yeah. So he loves him. But no question, I mean, a lot of the Eagles were scratching their heads about what Doug did. And I would argue it wasn't even Doug. I mean, that came from the top.
Right.
But
Right.
a lot, Jalen Hurts admitted to me after the game, he knew Nate Sudfeld was coming in. He knew it. Brandon Graham said he knew. But there were certain guys who obviously didn't know. So, yeah, that organization is a mess right now.
Yeah.
You said the heavy hitters knew. And that's why I said it's a disconnect between guys that are around Doug as opposed to guys that are just on the squad, the underlings, I guess.
And plus, Barrett, Miles wasn't playing, so he probably wasn't, as invested in the game planning as typically. And then you have the COVID virtual world. There's no real meetings. Everything's virtual. So who knows how the information got out to the players, but yeah, I mean, I don't know why anyone is so surprised. They weren't fighting and clawing to win that football game. Right. Everybody kind of understands that. They're not the first team to do that. They're not going to be the last team to do it. And it is kind of weird in Philadelphia. I mean, we should know more about tanking than anybody else. So that part of it, I think, has kind of confused the real issues, which are, Jeffrey Lurie is he's turned it into this stealthy, meddlesome owner. And that's not a good thing.
Not good.
No.
Well, you think? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, what kind of changes do you anticipate? I know we're going to get a defensive coordinator in here at some point, whether he's already in house or not. But as far as the front office, do you expect any kind of tweakings of the corporate structure? And then additionally, does Dorsey get hired as an official player personnel guy? What are you anticipating here in the next couple of weeks?
Well, I think John would like to be a GM again. So if he got another job, that would, cross him off the list. But he hasn't been really on any conversations about having interviews or anything of that nature. This would be his third opportunity. So it's kind of like two strikes in this league. It's more difficult to get that third one. So, Howie spoke yesterday. He seemed like he's going to be in charge of personnel. So I don't think anything is going to change from that perspective. Although I would say this Miles thing is the kind of thing that could make Jeffrey Lurie rethink what the heck is going on. It should make him rethink it because his organization is looking pretty silly to the rest of the country right now.
And that means something to him because he believes in that gold standard. But what do you think? Do you really think that they will go in and define roles, really give, who's doing what's doing, how they're doing it, as far as, in management? That's what I want, someone that I could point the finger and say, hey, it was his responsibility. Are they going to have the roles so we can really differentiate who's doing what?
I don't think so. They never have. You can go back to Andy Reid and people say, is that an Andy Reid pick, a Joe Banner pick, a Howie Roseman pick. Is this Joe Douglas or Howie Roseman? They've always had that uncertainty to outside the building. I think they kind of like that, to be honest. As long as Jeffrey Lurie knows, and ultimately, I mean, Howie's in charge of it, so he's accountable for it, or he should be. So it doesn't matter if Andy Weidel says this is the guy, and everybody agrees. You know, this is Howie Roseman's department. This is how the rest of the league works. I mean, every GM in this league has scouts and personnel people it leans on, but it's the GM's responsibility. It's Howie's responsibility.
John, you look at the whole situation right now, and like you said, to do what they did this year, fumble the Wentz thing so poorly over the last couple of years, and it all points to systemic dysfunction. It really does. And Howie gets up there yesterday and said, well, we thought this, we thought that. He kind of half-heartedly fell on his sword yesterday. And he said he regretted the quarterback factory comment. But all said and done, is there any way that this fan base should believe that the way things have been done are a way of the past and they'll be done properly going forward with the 6th pick, with the offseason, with the roster and all those decisions?
Well, I got to tell you, Jason, they have been successful generally when they pick at the top of the draft. It's a lot easier. I mean, let's be honest. The higher you go, the more talented the guys are, the more likely you're going to hit on somebody. So I think a lot of that is common sense. As far as, you know, how are they going to do things? I don't think you can have much confidence until you see it. I will say that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good right now. You know, one of the strengths of Doug Peterson, to me, I would argue the strength is managing personalities. And now he's coming off looking like he can't even do that because Jeffrey Lurie is meddling in all of this, which is my point. He's got to step aside. Look, it's his team. He can do whatever he wants. But the smart owners know what they don't know. The bad owners like Shad Khan, they say, well, I'm gonna have personnel power. Jerry Jones, I'm gonna have personnel power. You kind of have to understand that's not your strength.
Absolutely, man. We got time.
Is Wentz done?
And we have one more. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, is Wentz done? He was out on the field with Ertz after the game and Jason Kelsey and Big Dom. Is it over?
Yeah. I think he wants it to be over. I still think there's a ton of hurdles from the dead money perspective. Look, he's willing to do some things to make the cap hit more palatable. That's not the issue. The issue is the dead money. That's already spent. That's already gone. That's already budgeted. And is Jeffrey Lurie going to okay $34 million in dead money on top of the $250 or so million he's lost due to the pandemic? That to me is a bigger hurdle. But he wants out. There's no question about that. Zach wants out. And we'll see. I mean, even somebody like Jason Kelsey who was in there.
Yeah, seriously. I want out.
Yeah, okay. I want out too.
I need to pull a Jim Schwartz and just take a year off. Figure out what my future is.
Jim,
Eagles team. My God, I haven't.
Jim might be the smartest. Yeah, Jim might be the smartest guy in that building.
Thank you, because that was my column today on Philly Voice, which is Jim Schwartz is the smartest guy in the room.
Yes.
Well, John writes for Philly Voice as well. Maybe he was throwing me a bone.
Shame.
Guys weren't.
Well, he went to Georgetown. Schwartz.
He knew that he was getting fired, and they said you can either just resign or whatever,
no,
and you don't have the stain on your resume that we canned you.
It's way beyond that.
You know, that's possible.
It's about
Jason.
writing your own story. It's not letting these guys say that you were involved in gang activity.
You know, the wave is crashing. You get out of the way.
Because
I mean, they were going to scapegoat. They were going to scapegoat somebody.
Yes, and all of the things, all the evils of Schwartz were going to come out in some story on NJ.com, and all of a sudden it's going to be like, wow, this guy was evil. Thankfully, they got rid of him.
I think the new defensive coordinator, if they elevate Matt Burke, that to me indicates Jim walked out on his own accord, and is really thinking about retiring. If they go outside the building, it's probably what Jason said. It's probably like he's just getting out in front of it.
Awesome. Well, you're the smartest man in this room, John. No argument there. Thank you, sir. We'll
He
chat
lights
again
up
on
the stream too, man. The stream
It is
goes
amazing.
crazy when McMullen
Amazing.
comes on.
Now, what are
McMullen
we
Mafia.
chatting? We're chatting again on Thursday, right? Thursday, 12:40 Eastern.
Barring any Zoom curveballs,
Okay.
like if
We'll
Doug
get all
gets
ready
fired.
for the playoffs and everything. We'll get everybody sauced up.
Did
And
you
we'll
hear
get
that?
the playoffs.
You're gonna drop that nugget and just leave. Okay. All right. McMullen,
God,
there
that
you
would
go.
be awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
we would
I love
definitely
that.
love that.
It's
Thank
either
you.
that or they're going to rehire Mike Rowe.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, John. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
ya.
that's overtime, courtesy of Book It Sports. Head to the marketplace now. Google, Apple, download the app, participate, have some fun. We're back on a Wednesday. Jason's back with us on Thursday, as is John McMullen. Be well, be safe. Thanks for rocking with us. It's the MiddlePhillyVoice.com.